Welcome to another episode of Better Performance. In this episode, we are going to discuss client streaming. In the previous video, we had discussed about the server streaming. Also, we had seen that how server streaming is helping in improvement of the performance for inter-application where we had seen approximately 35 times improvement onto the gRPC versus REST. Now, let us look onto the server streaming and client streaming comparison together, and by end of this video you will be able to see that how server streaming and client streaming is affecting the application performance. So be with me till end of this. So let's proceed. Here we are discussing onto the communication style. We are at the fourth video of gRPC, where we are working onto the messaging of inter-application communication. Next couple of I will discuss that how Kafka is going to help in performance improvement. Also, we will see that performance of the application since we are doing the intercommunication between database and application as well. So caching is going to help us on improving the performance. So we will discuss that. So here onto the client streaming, we will send certain requests, individual requests to server, and after processing by the server, it will send back the information to client. So let's see the example. Example of client stream could be many, where we could have the aggregations, multiple sources data is coming, and once the multiple sources data is coming, it is sending that information. Client is sending the informations from the multiple Kafka streams or multiple places, and once it is combined into the gRPC, it is giving a response like aggregations could be one of the example. Calculation of cart items is another example. So let's go on to the cart. List of items in cart needs a calculation of price with tag. So client send one by one item, put an individual request to process, and then send the completion request to server. Once the completion request is received by the server, it will send that response back to us. Also in this process, server receives all the requests and then process it. Also server receive these requests in the order which has been sent by the server. So let's go on to the code portion and we'll see that how it has been coded. So if you look on my screen, we have different proto. Earlier we used to have that proto for server streaming. Now here we are going to have a client streaming. So what is going to change into the previous and this? So let me show you that previous one. Previous one has that items RPC get item request and return the stream of item response. Server is sending the stream informations, whereas in this you will see that client is sending the stream and server is returning without a stream. So this is a client streaming. Let us look onto the service as well. So this is a client stream service. This is a client stream service where all the request which is coming is being calculated, and each item on next it is calculating and saving this information into a response calculated value. And once this information is goes for completion, once it is complete, then it send the response back to server. Now let's look onto the REST endpoints. REST endpoints is also having very similar. Here it is taking the request as a list of object, and object is the item price, and this object is being iterated over the all the objects, and then item price is calculated, and once the item price is calculated, then it is sent back as a response. Now let's see the client coding. In the client coding, we will see that this is a gRPC client coding where item which is being sent or calculate, it is a stream observer of the item price which is being sent, and a sync client to calculated the price and send back. So now on next, it is calculating the price. Basically it is sending the information which is the item informations, and once it reaches over there, it process, and we at the end we have to send that on complete. So let us see how it has been coded onto the controller. So we had created a controller. On that controller, for each gRPC client, the client call and count. Once we give this, it is going and getting the instance and processing it. Now let's go on to the REST endpoints, that how REST endpoints is being. Onto the REST endpoints, we are creating a random price, and this random price server, once it reaches over there, and it sends the information back that how it has been. This is all, and let us look onto the how much performance gain we have. So since while recording this information is slow, so I have already recorded the values that how much is the performance boost is there. So in the client streaming, if I'm sending 100,000 requests, taking approximately 2665 milliseconds, which is approximately 2.6 seconds, whereas same request has been sent for the REST endpoints and 100,000, and it took approximately 147 seconds. And if we compare these two, approximately 50 time improvements we are getting onto the client streaming. As I mentioned into the beginning of video, that server was tested last time and it has approximately 35 times. So onto the higher workload, definitely it is going to be improvement onto the client and server streaming. So it is advisable that if you are using client and server, also if you have the different microservices, it is advisable to go use the gRPC. It is going to boost up the performance. Inter microservice communication is going to be better and better, and it will help in achieving your goal. So that's all for this video. Keep experimenting and better performance. Thank you very much.